Starting in table. On an exhalation, rounding your spine, lifting up toward the ceiling. On an inhalation, dropping the belly toward the floor, lifting the shoulders. Exhaling once again, lifting and rounding the spine, dropping the head. On an inhalation, dropping the belly toward the floor, lifting the shoulders. On your next exhalation, rounding and lifting your spine up toward the ceiling. On an exhalation, send your buns back to your heels. On the inhalation, move your shoulders forward, bending your elbows, lifting your heart. Inhaling here. Exhaling as you send your buns back as you round your spine. Inhaling, beginning to shift your weight forward into your elbows, lifting your heart. Exhaling, round your spine, lifting it up toward the ceiling. Exhaling, send your buns back toward your heels. Inhaling, moving your weight forward, lifting your heart. Exhaling, rounding your spine, sending your buns back toward your heels. Inhaling, shifting your weight forward, coming back to neutral. Turn your toes under, lift your hips back and up into downward facing dog on the inhalation. On the exhalation, bend your knees, bring them back down into table. On an exhalation, shift your weight forward, walk your hands forward, and then shift your weight into your shoulders. Exhaling, lower your shoulders down to the floor. Inhaling, place your forearms and elbows on the floor. Lift your heart into Sphinx. On an exhalation, bend your right knee and side bend back to look at the foot. On the inhalation, come back to Sphinx. On the exhalation, bend your left knee and side bend to look at it. On the inhalation, come back to Sphinx. On the exhalation, bend your right knee and side bend to look at it. On the inhalation, come back to Sphinx. On your exhalation, bend your left knee, side bend back to look at it. On the inhalation, come back to center. On your next exhalation, lower your shoulders down to the floor, bend your elbows, forehead resting on the arms. On your next exhalation, turn the toes of your right foot under. Inhaling, lift your leg off the floor. If you'd like, lift the leg further into the floor. And then exhaling, lower that leg down to the floor. Let your leg rest completely. On your next inhalation, turn the toes of the left foot under. Lift your leg off the floor by turning the toes under, lengthening through the heel. If you'd like, inhale that leg up into the air. Exhaling, bring the toes back down to the floor. Now, on your next inhalation, come up to forearm table, pressing your elbows into the floor. Stretch your right arm forward for a shoulder stretch. On the exhalation, sending your buns back. Inhaling, draw your right arm in. On the exhalation, stretching your left arm forward toward the top of the mat. On the inhalation, draw the elbow back in. Exhaling, draw the right arm forward, lengthening it toward the top of the mat. Inhaling, draw the elbow back to neutral. Exhaling, draw the left arm forward, stretching the shoulders. On the inhalation, draw the left hand back to neutral. Come on back to table. Lengthen your right leg back toward the end of the mat. toe touching the floor. Then lift your right leg into the air on an inhalation. Lift your left arm into the air. On an exhalation, lower the leg to the floor. Bring the arm down. On an inhalation, lengthen your other leg back toward the end of the mat, turning the toes under. On an inhalation, lift the left leg into the air. Lift the right arm into balancing table. Lower your leg down to the floor. Bring your arm down to the floor. On your next inhalation, turn your toes under. Lift your hips back and up into downward facing dog. On your next exhalation, bend your knees. Bring them down to the floor. Send your buns back to your heels. Namaste.